Hello guys, welcome back to Robu. Hope you are doing well and staying safe. In this video we are going to learn a lot about DIY cameras, IoT cameras, wireless cameras, spy cameras, thermal cameras. We are going to learn how you can buy a camera for yourself, your project or anything you are doing. So if you want to learn more about these cameras, stay tuned. So there are two basic categories in the camera section. First is the basic camera and second are smart cameras. So basic cameras are the ones where input is taken from the camera and then it is given to the microcontroller to process. Second are smart cameras. So smart cameras have inbuilt processing unit in them through which they process this specific camera input and then give an output. So it is used for object detection, face detection, line detection, edge detection and a lot of stuff like that. Now whenever you want to buy a camera for your DIY project or for yourself, there are plethora of options in front of you. But we have the ultimate question, how to choose? Let's see a few parameters you need to consider before buying a camera for yourself. And the first of it is utility. When buying any DIY or other camera, a major marketing gimmick is the megapixel. But what is this megapixel? Every image in this world is made up of small cube structures called as pixels. When a million such pixels exist in an image, the image is said to be of 1 megapixel. A camera of 8 megapixel will take images which will have 8 million pixels in the image. Sensors inside the camera module help in the processing of these pixels by converting them in voltage or digital signals. So basically sensors help the camera to make sense of what they have received as light from the camera lens. A camera with a good value of megapixel is basically worthless if it doesn't have a sensor or a stabilizer attached with it. There are other features too, like lens, field of vision, thermal imaging, IR sensing, night vision, etc. So basically if you want to learn about the difference of temperature of specific objects, you can buy a thermal imaging camera. And if you want to see in light, make a surveillance robot or maybe a CCTV camera through which you can see in night, you can use a night vision camera. So these are the difference. So the first point, like I said, is utility, and you should buy a camera considering what is your utility and what do you need in your camera. Meanwhile, this was all about basic cameras. Now we'll talk about smart cameras. So smart cameras have inbuilt processing capabilities in it. So while choosing them, you need to see factors like RAM, processing power, flash memory, etc. A major factor while buying a camera is also the algorithms inside it, which differs from company to company, brand to brand. So you need to see which brands offer the best algorithms to do a specific task and then buy the smart camera accordingly. The second factor you need to know before buying a DIY camera is the brand. So why brand is important? Because you need to know what brand is selling what and what is the use of the specific set of camera they are selling. So basically all the DIY brands, they all have different functions, they all have different utilities and they all have different features and functions. So you need to see that before buying a DIY camera for yourself. So right here in front of me I have two camera modules from M5Stack brand. The first one, this one is the M5Stack Unit Cam, which is based on ESP32 room and have a OV2640 camera. You can access the camera remotely through Wi-Fi like you do with ESP32 cam. The second one here is M5Stack M5Stick-V K210 AI camera. So this basically have an K210 edge computing system on chip. This device is able to perform convolutional neural network calculations at low power consumption. So this tiny device can do machine learning, AI device, machine vision, it can do face recognition detection, object detection classification, shape recognition and a lot of it. So these these two are powerful devices. One of it is basic camera and this other one is basically a smart camera which can do a lot of stuff. So these here in front of me are two cameras from the brand Ttgo. On your left side is one module which basically has a standard camera, a mic, a PIR sensor with it, a button and SSD 1306. While this one, the black one, has a camera, it has a ST7789 IPS display, a mic and an SD card slot. So these two have different functions, but they have these, like a camera, they have a camera module inside them. These two I think are similar to ESP32 cam if you have ever used it. So you can transmit your data, your video data through Wi-Fi and also image data, but with additional few sensors, like I said, PIR sensors and an SD card slot. and stuff like that. So let's talk about one of the most awaited brands, Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi has various cameras up in their inventory. Right here in front of me I have a few of them, and we'll be talking about them one by one. This is a 5 megapixel camera. So if you've ever used a Raspberry Pi and did a camera project, you must have used this. This is one of the most basic cameras. It is 5 megapixel and it has a flexible cable which is called a CSI connector. This kind of camera is very useful if you are doing small projects. You can also do small OpenCV projects with them, but it doesn't have kind of the clarity which we require, which the next Raspberry Pi camera will be having, the Raspberry Pi camera version 2. So this camera, what's so special about this? It also has a CSI connector, it also has a camera, but it uses high quality 8 megapixel Sony IMX219 image sensor. So like I said before, sensors are very important, not just the megapixel in the cameras. So this has a better sensor and it is capable of 3280 into 2464 pixel static images. It can take images with this much pixels, and it also supports 1080p 30, 720p 60 and 640 into 480p 6090 video. So basically this kind of video formats it can take and it can give as an input to the microcontroller, because these are all basic cameras we are talking about. So let's talk about the third camera in the category. So this is an official Raspberry Pi camera, NoIR V2. So why NoIR 2? So it's not NoIR, it's NoIR. So we'll be talking about it, why it's a NoIR, but first we'll be talking about the camera. So the Pi NoIR gives you everything the regular camera module offers, so this one, with one major difference. So it does not employ an infrared filter. Its name itself says NoIR, so no infrared. This basically means that the picture you take by daylight will look decidedly curious. So what does that mean? It gives you ability to see in the dark with infrared lighting without any IR filter. So there are programs in it which helps you to see in the night, to take amazing photos in nighttime without using any of the technology employed in the next camera. So we talked about NoIR. NoIR means no infrared technology. This camera, opposing to the third one, is an infrared camera. So this camera also equips a 5 megapixel camera and it has an OmniVision 5647 sensor. It is a Raspberry Pi infrared IR night vision surveillance camera module, and it is in which is in fixed mode. So this camera can take 5 megapixel images in fixed mode. The only difference between this camera and this is that this uses an IR filter technology and this doesn't. If you want to test these two cameras, let us know in the comment section and we'll be checking out the clarity. We'll be doing a complete comparison video on all these cameras. So let us know in the comment section, like this video and share it with your friends. One of the more talked about DIY camera brands is Ttgo Cam, known for its variety of cameras. Unlike Raspberry Pi, some of the cameras Adafruit has specialized options, like this pan tilt zoom camera right here, which can move according to your signals in it. And the other camera, which is a spy camera, you can use for your James Bond sneaky situation. Adafruit also has this NoIR camera with motorized IR cut filter mounted on it. So you can use any of these cameras. We have a lot of variety of cameras on our site. You can check out. These are just a few of cameras I showed you right now. Go check it out. So whenever we talk about thermal cameras, thermal cameras are basically those cameras which can differentiate between warm and cold temperatures. Waveshare is a name we should all remember when buying a thermal camera. This camera right now can detect temperature range between -40 to 85 degrees Celsius. There are a range of such cameras on our website. So guys, hope you learned a lot about DIY cameras from this video. If you did, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, stay safe, stay tuned at Robu.in.